Let's get on to some of the day's other news and to Sierra Leone, where the High Court has allowed former President Ernest-Bai Koroma, charged with treason, to travel abroad. Koroma has been allowed to travel on medical grounds. He was charged for his alleged role in a failed military coup in November. More than 20 people were killed as sites across the West African country were attacked. Let's go live to the capital, Freetown, now. Ahmed Idris is standing by for us there. So, Ahmed, tell us more about this decision.
Well, early in the day, lawyers for Mr. Koroma went to the High Court applying for a leave for him to go on medical treatment based on his conditions. Of course, the High Court approved that order, and that was transmitted to the magistrate court, where he's been appearing since the day he was ordered and since the day investigation started into his case. We are hearing that he probably will be leaving, but we're not sure which day or what time he'll be leaving Sierra Leone. There are several reports linking him to possibly going to Nigeria. We know the Economic Community of West African States have been trying hard to convince the Sierra Leone government to think about releasing Mr. Koroma to leave the country, probably into exile. But again, the court said he is going on medical grounds to be checked, and that certain conditions were placed on that particular order that include, of course, his lawyers or his medical team consistently updating the medical conditions or his progress or otherwise to the courts and, of course, the government of Sierra Leone. Now, joining me now to discuss further this court order and the reaction of the government of Sierra Leone to the court order is the Minister of Information, Republic of Sierra Leone, Mr. Chernor Bah. Honourable Minister, thank you for joining Aljazeera.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, talk to us about your reaction to the court order today. What do you make of it?
The government of Sierra Leone has been consistent throughout the investigations that we will abide by and stick to the principles of the rule of law. Today, his lawyers, the lawyers of the former president, Dr. Ernest-Bai Koroma, as you said, made an application in front of the court. Our lawyers, the lawyers of the state, argued, and the court made a ruling. We're very happy to abide by the ruling of the court because we believe in the rule of law, and that's the principle that's guiding this case throughout.
ECOWAS has been pushing your government to release Mr. Koroma to go probably into exile, and there was even talk of Nigeria agreeing to host him. Should this be considered as Mr. Koroma going into exile?
As I've said from the beginning, we will abide by the rule of law. What they applied for today was for a variation of his bail conditions to allow him to travel specifically to Nigeria. I see you were asking whether that was the case. That was the application, and that's the application that's been granted. He will go to Nigeria, but it's also important to point out that the lower courts, the magistrate courts, did adjourn the case to a later date, and sometime in March, where we expect our lawyers to be back in front of the courts. Now, what happens in terms of conversations with ECOWAS, between the head of states of Sierra Leone, His Excellency President Bio, those are not things that we will comment on. What we know and what we can report, and we know for sure, is what you've just said, that he has been granted a leave to leave Sierra Leone, essentially, to seek medical attention.
Minister, what becomes of the charges against Mr. Koroma? If eventually he goes into exile, what becomes of the charges against him? Are you pursuing those cases? At
this stage, the case is still alive. It's been adjourned. And we expect, as you said, the instructions of the courts include that, A, they continue to report on his medical conditions. And secondly, as I said, we have a date to go back to courts. Now, for now, that's the status of the case, and that's the position of the government of Sierra Leone.
That was Minister of Information, Republic of Sierra Leone, Mr. Chernor Bah. And just to update you, the trial of military officers accused of involvement in the coup still continues, along with other civilians who have been a part of the conspiracy, who have been accused of being part of the coup plot, is still ongoing. It's not clear how this changes the fate of Mr. Bai Koroma. Right now, the court, as we said, has granted him bail to go to Nigeria to seek medical attention. The 70-year-old former president will be leaving Nigeria, according to his lawyers, but we're not certain which date that will be. For now, that's what we're watching, what we are watching closely to see whether or not he will leave very soon.
OK, that's a picture from Freetown. Ahmed Idris reporting. Thanks very much, Ahmed. Sudan is accusing the Intergovernmental Authority on